Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you know, depending on how many fingers he has.
Who's doing speculating behind the team?
Yeah, a little bit. Trainers, doctors, me. VJ.
Coach, you talked after the left
Uh huh.
about this team needing to learn how to win.
Sure.
Does the fourth quarter represent a step backwards in that progress, or is it part of it?
I think it's part of it. And, you know, I don't know. And the only thing that I can judge is how our guys played during the fourth quarter. And when you look at the tape, you know, the intensity and hearing football on the field, you know, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves is I want to hear football. I don't necessarily have to see it, but I want to hear it. And, you know, I really, they're playing with good effort, and they're chasing guys down, and they're throwing blocks, and you know, we ran a couple screens that I thought our offensive linemen did a good job, and you know, for the most part, offensively, I thought we played pretty well, and so I think it's a learning process that you know we've got to get through as a team.
Would you call that a low point in the season?
Well, I don't know. I think any win's a low point, to be honest with you. I mean, I think anytime you lose, that's a low point.
The way you guys happen to lose, though, is that it's tougher than
You know, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still a loss. Doesn't change anything. And so, to me, it's another learning experience. And what we have to do as a football team and as a staff is take the good things we did and learn from the things we didn't do as well.
What about for you as a coach personally? Just one of the tougher ones.
You know, I've done this a long time, so, you know, I've been through it. You know, you feel badly for your players, and that's the hard thing. Because you want them, as hard as they work, you want them to be successful. And, you know, I'm sure every coach feels that way, that, you know, because you're coaching for the kids anyway, and life lessons and everything else. So you know, it's one of those things that this is a big life lesson that we're learning, and you just feel bad because of the hard work.
So it's how important that's around.
Well, I think he's really important. I think his maturity and his leadership, and that's probably what I've noticed the most is his leadership, that he's taking more of every day, you know, and, you know, our seniors are very important to us, and sometimes it takes an underclassman a little bit to feel, well, I'm not a senior, so maybe I shouldn't. And I think he has stepped forward in that and done a nice job.
Physically, how has he grown?
I think he's grown a lot. I think, you know, he's the understanding of it from the first to the second read or whatever it might be in the throwing game to getting us into good plays at the line of scrimmage. I think he's done a really good job with that.
When you look back at the tape of Saturday's
Uh-huh.
defensively, what did you see go wrong?
When you have an opportunity to make a play, you've got to make the play. And I think there were a couple different instances that, and it was right at the end of the third quarter on the one drive. Yeah, you know, we've got some guys in position to play the ball, and we play the man instead of playing the ball. And, you know, I had Darren Lewis did a great job on the one down the sideline. He jumps up, gets the ball out, the guy falls on his back, and the ball falls on his chest. What are you going to do? That's part of it. But that takes a little bit of emotion from you every time you put yourself out there. And then sometimes you have a tendency to play safe. And you can't play safe. I mean, there's nothing safe about it.
Your thoughts on Utah's play package?
You know, they run it as well as anybody. You know, I think you see the speed that they have. You know, they're similar when you look at TCU to that degree when you see the speed that they have on the perimeter. Those guys can go get it. I think the running back is a guy who really wide does a nice job of finding the creases in there and accelerating through holes. They got a young quarterback who's a good quarterback, makes good decisions. And I think they've done a nice job of bringing him along at the same time. You know what? It hasn't bothered us. So, I think there's more made of it than there is from a psychological standpoint.
When you see the buzz of the last few weeks leading up to Wyoming, do you think that the Nebraska Cotton Bowl is any degree shape how the results play out?
I don't think so. I don't see that. I thought, we played 3 quarters of really good football and fell apart one way or another in the fourth quarter. And some of it was, we've kicked those sky kicks all year, and made some substitutions to make sure guys who handle the ball a lot and just didn't make the play we wanted to.